Okay, students. So, very itu pause deh. Itu put pa ako lagala itu. Students, can you hear me? Please reply.
Sir.
Okay. So, if it is if possible, please put on the video once so that I can see along again and if you don't mind. If you don't mind, Bhargav, Bhargav Kulita, can I see you? Good morning, students. Is the audio clear now? Okay. So, is it clear now? Okay. Okay. So, actually, I am new to your university. So, the course is also in the middle of the session. So, I came to know that your Mriganko sir was taking this course. So, just today I will spend with you to know what has been already taught and how much actually concept you already have. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Chandrasekhar, can you hear me properly? Chandrasekhar, can you hear me properly now? Uh, Others were not getting my audio clear, but right now it is clear, as they say. So, Chandrasekhar, is it clear? Chandrasekhar Yadav, is it clear? Oh, this must be network problem then, because otherwise I am using your college LAN. So, my side is okay. So, this actually is not in my hand. So, hope your network will be improved very soon. Somebody please reply. Yeah, you can reply in the chat box. What are the topics already covered from beginning so that I can have an understanding of what is left. So please write in the chat box and feel free to communicate. Uh, just remember your initial classes and tell me what are the things that have been already covered. So can you all tell me what is the textbook that has been recommended for your class? Please write the name of the textbook in the chat box. Someone please write the name of the textbook recommended to you so that I can arrange that one. Students, oh, no textbook. No textbook. So, do you know from which textbook sir was teaching? Well, as of now, I have a textbook that is actually very not a very popular one, but a very small one to understand. Normally, we follow in classes the object-oriented programming by Balaguru Swami, object-oriented programming in Java by Balaguru Swami. At present, that book is not available with me right now. So as of now, if you can see, I use internet and Java programming. So this is a book by New Age publisher. This small book. I don't know whether it will be available in the market right now because the copy I have is a very old one, around 2005 printout. So this is a concise book. So that is why I always keep it with me. So today I just review the concepts that has been already taught. I assume uh, some 50% already taught. So can you all tell me whether basics of OOP like classes and objects has been covered? Please reply in the chat box yes or no. Please reply in the chat box. Basics of OOP that is classes and objects covered or no? Students, do not hesitate to reply. If you don't know that is also okay. But I have to actually make it out from which portion I have to do them. So basics of classes and objects not covered. But, the lecture material, the ERP says class and objects, then Java virtual machine, then JIT, then properties, then polymorphism, data types, iteration, etc. are covered. Okay. So today what I will do is I assume your basics are not clear, so I'll quickly review some of the topics. Is it okay? So I review. See, object-oriented programming can be done in any language. The most popular languages are C++ and then Java. Because of several features of Java, actually object-oriented programming is nowadays preferred in Java. That is why maybe C++ and Java is taken. So the main keywords that actually come with object-oriented programming, you can note down if you wish. Actually, objects, classes, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, I repeat, it should be objects, classes, encapsulation, then abstraction, then inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, so, so we start with object. Okay, so an object is a class. You need not note down. You can just note down the keywords. So just listen and try to remember because everything you cannot note down. So an object is a concrete instance of some class. Okay, so before that we have to understand the concept of class. Okay, so what is class? A class is a blueprint or a prototype that defines the variables and methods common to all objects. So class serves as a user defined type. A class thus defines a data type that behaves like the built-in types of a programming language. Okay. So actually once you define a class, it actually acts as a data type, just like we create variables for integer x, for example, or float y. That means we create one instance of the type int or float. So in the same way, when you create a class ABC, then you can create instances of the class ABC by writing ABC X or ABC Y. So object is a concrete instance of some class. Objects are the basic entities in an object-oriented system. Each object is denoted by name and has a state. The variables within the object expresses everything about the object or state, and the methods specify how it can be used, that is behavior. So we get two things, that is state and behavior. So variables used within an object actually defines the state, that means what is the present status of the object. For example, suppose within an object x becomes 5, then you can say status of the object is equal to 5. And the method specify how it can be used. Okay? Methods can regulate the behavior of the method. For example, suppose there is a function called add, then add a and b. So you can interpret that the method is actually behaving like adding a and b. So uh, uh, that is the role of an object. For example, a bicycle has a state, the number of wheels and the current gear, assuming as a geared cycle, and behavior, that is braking, accelerating, slowing down, and changing gears. So the concept of class and object actually has come from real world. Like suppose you know the teachers of your department, say Maladakka ma'am, then Vishnuda Chaudhary ma'am, then actually they are instances of the class called faculty. Okay, because they are faculty of the department. Manoj Chaudhary. So these are instances are of the class faculty. Okay. So in this case, faculty is the class. In your case, student is the class, and students like Bhargav Koita, Chandrasekhar Yadav, Changlim, Ong Pang, then Chris Leon, David Rimo, all are instances of the class. Uh, Instances of the class, that is these are called objects. So for the class student, Bhargav, Chandrasekhar, Changlin, Chris, etc. will be the objects. Okay. So method. So actually in object-oriented programming, the functions or any procedure. Procedure means the function that do not return a value. So they are basically called procedure, and if they have return value, then they are actually called function. So a method is a function or a procedure that access to internal state of the object needed to perform some operation. So methods are functions defined inside the classes that operate on instances of those classes. The class is a blueprint. So methods are nothing but the functions. So if you have already done some programs, suppose there may be a class, so class ABC, within that x equal to 5, y equal to 0. Then within the method add x equal to add x plus y. When the method return x plus y. So in this case you have variables or state called x and y, and you have method called add. So that is the example of a method. So class I have already mentioned is the blueprint or prototype that defines the variables or data, and methods that common to all objects of certain kind. A class serves as a user-defined set. So you can define the benefit of this object-oriented programming. The benefit of this object-oriented programming is that you can define new data types in terms of classes, and that too with reference to your real-world concepts. That means uh, based on the real world objects, a teacher, you can create a class teacher, then they will have certain properties, and then you can create an object for any teacher, and then you can regulate those properties for that teacher. For example, suppose age, then date of retirement, etc. Then yeah, so Jitul, actually I found Shaidur is attempting to join. I have allowed him twice. So once allowing, he actually went back again, perhaps. Then again, he was reattempting. I have allowed. Okay. So that is the role of a class. So the benefit of this object-oriented programming with classes and objects is that we can design our data types and regular properties with reference to real-world concepts. As I have already mentioned that since suppose faculty is a class or teacher is a class, then you can suppose set some variables like say date of joining, the date of retirement, and then age and etc. educational qualification. So these can be individual properties common to all faculties because they are available for any faculty. They should be available for any faculty. Well, however, every faculty, say myself, is considered. So all these properties will be different than any other faculty, say Manoj or Manoj Putri. So every faculty will be treated as an object. So every individual faculty is an object, and what is common among all the faculty is that all are members of the class faculty or teacher. So that is the concept of class and object. Then the third important term along in this category is called encapsulation. So why object-oriented programming has become so popular? Because of the property encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Otherwise, the four properties actually encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. These are the properties that makes an object-oriented programming so special. So, talking about encapsulation, one of the fundamental principles of object technology is that the internals of an object are private to that object and may not be accessed or even examined from outside. Okay, so encapsulation means things put within a capsule. That means there is no outside access possible. So encapsulation is simply a reasonably effective building tool. It is a way of packaging information. Encapsulation allows the programmer to prevent clearly specified interfaces around the services they provide. The programmer can decide what should be hidden and what is intended to be visible. Since it is already discussed in classes, the access specifiers may be private, public, and properties. If not, I will again repeat, don't worry. So, uh, what actually is benefit of encapsulation is that if you create some variables or some functions or methods, so mainly a class will be recognized by a set of variables also called data and some member functions or methods. Okay, so variables and methods that can be regulated, which will be accessible from outside the class and which will be accessible only inside the class. So this makes a lot of information, a lot of procedure or methods encapsulated from the outside world. That means those methods will not even be visible from the outside world. That means outside programmer, anybody who is using that particular class from for their program will not even know what is inside the object or the class. So that is and that is the benefit of encapsulation. So encapsulation is simply a reasonably effective building tool. Okay. So some advantages of encapsulation include managing complexity, then managing change and protecting data. So obviously, if you make certain objects, we will see examples and know what actually encapsulation can do and cannot do. So complexity. So because only one or two variables or one or two methods can be made accessible from outside, yet there may be lots of methods or data variables available in the class. Because of that facility, actually the programming becomes quite simple. So complexity of programming because of huge number of classes and objects and all these things will be actually hidden. Then managing change. Okay, if you need to add some changes, then the changes can be made effectively without interpreting the outside world. Okay, you can do some changes inside which will not be visible, and that actually, yes. give another benefit. This managing change can give us another benefit of actually flexibility and reusability that we will discuss soon. Another term that comes in object-oriented programming is actually abstraction. The abstraction refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details or explanation. So it is the art of contracting on the essential thing and ignoring non-essential thing. If you have not understood abstraction, let me explain from your daily experience that abstraction actually means giving not concrete details. That means, suppose if I ask you to write an essay about, suppose, some downtown university. Okay, so this actually called an abstract instruction. Okay, so see, I have not mentioned the number of words, minimum number of words, maximum number of words. If I have not mentioned the column heading, say for example, your essay should have an introduction, then should have the internal details, then should have a conclusion. Because essays normally have introduction, then body and the conclusion. So if I mention all the details, then you are bound to follow all the details because otherwise your essay will not be accepted. But if I don't mention all the details, the benefit is that you are free to decide. So you are free to decide what will be the content of the essay, what will be the number of, what is the word limit of that essay, and what are the things to be written in the essay, what are the things will be not to be written in the essay. Everything will be in your hand. And uh, if I don't make it abstract, then things will be very concrete and you have to follow strictly the given specification. So benefit of abstraction is that it allows the programmers to do programming very flexibly. So that is the main benefit of abstraction. So we'll see abstract data types, abstract classes, etc. I have to repeat them very soon. So a class can inherit characteristics from another class, and this property is called inheritance. So next property that actually characterizes object-oriented programming is actually called inheritance. So a class can inherit characteristics from another class. So inheritance you have perhaps already understood nicely. Suppose your grandfather is a billionaire, then your father will become owner of the property after your grandfather, and after your father you are going to be the owner of that property. So you have already started with some billions. Okay, but if your grandfather do not have any property, then your father will also start from the zero. Then whatever he will earn, then only he will be able to live for you. So the benefit of inheritance in our personal life is that without doing many things, we can inherit several properties. So these properties can be actually incorporated in our object-oriented programming also. The uh, classes are inherited in such a way that the methods and the data members that were member of the parent class. So the class which will be inherited actually is called the base class from which inheritance will do, and the class to which things will be inherited is called the derived class. Okay, if not discussed, I'll again repeat the inheritance only. So the benefit is that once a class is retained, those properties that are made public for the world can be inherited by the derived classes. The benefit of this is that the derived class is free from creating all those variables and data members again. So this actually in one sense facilitates reusability. Since your father already have the property, you need not earn 1 billion property, it is already available. So that is the benefit. Then another property is that polymorphism. So polymorphism is a feature that allows one interface to be used for a general class of actions. The concept of polymorphism is often expressed by a phrase one interface, multiple methods. So polymorphism, actually poly means multiple. So polymorphism means shape. Okay, so one object or one class can take multiple shape. It is another benefit of shape. For example, suppose there is a shape area. Okay, so area can be available for any type of shape. Say area can be available for rectangle, area can be available for a square, area can be available for a triangle, area can be available for a circle. So all these are, what is common to all these shapes are is that they are shapes. But what make them unique is that a rectangle is different from all other components like square, triangle, or circle. A circle is different from all others. So yet still the area, the function area is valid for all the properties, all the shapes. So that is the benefit of polymorphism. And a class can be used in multiple formats, and the reusability can be exhibited to the fullest extent. So these are the five properties, sorry, uh, these are the four properties: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, that actually can be achieved by our object-oriented programming. So fundamental characteristics of OOP I will read out. Don't worry, sometimes I will give you screenshot of the book I am reading right now. So, so every object, everything in an OO paradigm is an object. So in object-oriented programming, everything must be expressed in terms of object. Is the first requirement. Then each object is an instance of a class. So if there is an object, that must be instance of a class. That means first a class should be available. Then only you can make a object created from that particular class. Uh, then a class is the definition of methods and data which are other objects. So method means actually functions or procedure, and data means actually variables of other objects. An object of a class encapsulates its own state data values but the same behavior. Okay, so an object maintains its own variable. That means the variables that have been defined for one object may not be applicable for other objects. For example, the suppose the faculty is a class, and MK Sharma and then Malanatma is an object. There are two objects. So the date of joining of Manoj Sharma and date of joining of Maladatta may be different. A class may communicate with others via messages which request associate with required arguments. Okay, so communication between the different classes actually may be through messages. That means what is message? Nothing but parameters passed from one method to another method. So a class may inherit another class's properties. Okay, and this is called inheritance. A class can be arranged into an inheritance hierarchy which is not a single root tree. So there may be inheritance hierarchy. You have heard about, or if not, then I will again repeat uh, that there may be different forms of inheritance: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Then a class can override behaviors of inherited method from its superclass. So when we will again review inheritance, you will see that although there may be a method or variable which may be inherited from its superclass, that means parent class or root class or base class, now that can be overridden. That means new values or new properties can be assigned and ignoring the original property. So at this point, I must say the difference between the overload and override. Okay, overload means in addition to an existing, you will be given additional property, and override means ignoring the existing, you will be given new property. Okay, so overload means new properties in addition to old properties, and override means new properties ignoring the or discarding the old property. So benefits of object-oriented programming, obviously, uh, at this point, I'll just quickly read out the difference between structured procedural programming and object-oriented programming. Structured procedural programming example is C language. an object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming actually uh, uh, object-oriented programming examples are over C++ and Java. So systems are structured programming systems are modularized on the basis of methods, and object-oriented programming systems are modularized on the basis of data structure called objects. Okay, so main building block of procedural programming, if you have done C programming up to with some detail, then you should know that the differentiation, the modularization, that means breaking up a bigger task into smaller tasks, is actually with the help of only methods. Whereas in object-oriented programming, it is with class or objects. So in structured programming, so in a program module, the state and data procedures are separated. In object-oriented programming, in programming model, objects and behaviors are encapsulated. Okay. So in structured programming, data and procedures are separated, whereas in object-oriented programming, all data and objects are encapsulated. That means nothing to be separated, they are already encapsulated. Then in structured programming, programmers are responsible for calling each other by active procedures to pass parameters. And in object-oriented programming, active objects communicate with passing messages to other operations. So, in what we can understand from this is that structured programming means programmers have to take the responsibility of calling that means message passing between functions with the help of parameters. Whereas in object-oriented programming, objects actually can do the decisions, and that means what messages to pass, what messages not to pass. Then applications of object-oriented programming. If you did not know this, then certain thing why the OP should be learned. So simulation and modeling is a big area. We, at this point, we will not go into the details of what the areas mean. So first area is simulation and modeling, then user interface design and windowing system. So basically object-oriented programming helps in modular programs or modular decomposition of bigger tasks into smaller tasks. With the help of object-oriented programming, a bigger project can be subdivided into smaller projects. That smaller divide sub-project can be again subdivided into sub-projects, and then it can be divided into certain level, and then all those individual smaller modules can be splitted to others, the programmers or designers for programming, and then later on the integration can be done at one end to uh, solve the bigger problem. So that is the benefit of OOP, and that is why user interface design and windowing actually are using all those, because user interface design front end and the back end are two different things, so that can be handled separately. Then object oriented database design, then artificial intelligence, expert system, neural networks, web design, CAD/CAM system, and whatnot. So these are just some of the areas. In today's class, actually I have reviewed what actually basic object-oriented programming. So we have not entered into Java yet. So as my review is concerned, revision is concerned, we have not entered into Java yet. And in our next theory class, I will come into Java. So now I will take some moments from students to take the feedback on today's class. So students, now please feel free to communicate, because I need your feedback constantly. And let me tell you that in classes, I would like to see yourself also occasionally. Whenever I ask you, please put on your video and audio and interact with me, because uh, although we are working online mode without interaction, actually the classes will be only from one-sided, so that actually will not be able to give you full benefits. Okay, so students, I will try to interact with you all one by one. Now, Bhargav Kolita. So can you please put on the audio and the video? I want to see you. Bhargav, I will present.
Yes, sir.
So will you mind if I see you? Please put on the video. Don't worry, I am a very easily accessible person and not at all rough, not at all rude. My voice may appear so, but please feel free to interact with me. If you have any problem, if you have not understood anything, feel properly, tell me properly so that we can give you most benefits. Okay. So Bhargav, now এতিয়া খোলাকে কোৱাচোন অবজেক্ট ওৰিয়েণ্টেড আগৰ ক্লাছবিলাকত তুমি কিবা শিকিছানে?
তাৰমানে মই আগৰ ক্লাছ এটা কৰিব পৰা নাছিলোঁ, মানে মোৰ নেটৱৰ্কৰ প্ৰব্লেম আছিলে।
এই তোমাৰ দেখোন প্ৰেজেণ্ট মাৰা আছে হে চব।
কি ক'লে ছাৰ?
প্ৰেজেণ্ট আছে দেখোন।
ছাৰ মাজে মাজে কৰিছোঁ ছাৰ, মাজে মাজে কৰিব পৰা নাই মানে।
না এতিয়া তুমি জাভা প্ৰগ্ৰাম ছাৰে যে প্ৰগ্ৰামবিলাক দিছে সেইবিলাক কৰিছানে নাই?
ছাৰ দুটামান কৰিছোঁ।
দুটামান, কিন্তু অলপ ভালকে পঢ়িব লাগিব। আচ্ছা, আজি মই কিবা কিবি ক'লো সেইখিনি কিবা অলপ বুজিলানে? অপেনলি কোৱা, ফ্ৰীলি
ছাৰ
কোৱা।
অলপ চলপ বুজি পাইছোঁ, গোটেই বুজি পোৱা নাই ছাৰ।
মই নোটছখিনি দি দিম বাৰু। এইকেইটা বেছিক বস্তু মই কৈ দিলোঁ, অবজেক্ট অৰিয়েণ্টেড প্ৰগ্ৰামিং কি বস্তু। মই
হয়
এটা কাম কৰিম, মই এটা গুগল ক্লাছৰুম ক্ৰিয়েট কৰিম, তাতে তোমালোকক মই নোটছবিলাক দি দিম, ঠিক আছে?
হয় ছাৰ।
মই কমপ্লিটলি ৰিভিজন কৰাই দিম। ডিচেম্বৰৰ 15 তাৰিখ মানলৈকে ক্লাছ চলিব। তাৰ মাজতে যিখিনি
হয়
পাৰোঁ আৰু তোমালোকক, কাৰণ মইতো আধাতে আহিলোঁ। ত'
হয়
ভয় খাব নালাগে। প্ৰগ্ৰামিং বস্তুটো ভালকৈ শিকিলে পিছলৈ বহুত সহায় হ'ব হা। আৰু এটা প্ৰগ্ৰামিং লেংগুৱেজ ভালকৈ শিকা, তোমাৰ বহুত লাভ হ'ব, ঠিক আছে?
হয় ছাৰ।
Okay then. Now I'll talk to Chandrasekhar Yadav. Yadav, can I see you? Chandrasekhar, can I see you? Students, I don't think some of the students are present. Chandrasekhar, you are on the absent. So please respond. Okay. Changlim, are you there? Can I see you?
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Can I see you? Who is it? Changlim, can I see you?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So how are you?
Fine, sir.
So have you understood something in today's class? Because I have revised only the basic concept of OP. Okay, Chandrasekhar, have you understood something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, and have you done programs already taught by our Miganko sir?
Yes, sir. We have did around 3 or 4 programs.
3 or 4 only.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Before leaving my earlier institution, I was taking Java laboratory there also. There I have already asked about 90 programs, 90. 90টা কৰাই থৈ আহিলোঁ মই already. Okay. So I believe that
Okay,
actually
sir.
more programs will make your concept clear. I will give you worked out examples that you have to see and understand. Okay. I'll give you a lot of worked out
Okay, sir. Okay.
examples. Just see them, understand them, run them, and try to tell me what is actually the output. Okay. David Rimo, are you present?
Okay, sir.
David, can I see
Thank you,
you?
sir.
David, can I see you? Okay, Chandra, you can put off your video. David, you can see. I want to see you. How are you, David?
Yes, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Okay, so have you understood something in today's class? Be frank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll pass the notes also, and I will pass the Google Classroom note where I will share the class notes of this entire topic. So I hope even if you could not understand in your first part by your other teacher, so we hope that the next month, within the next month, we can cover up. Okay, be regular in
Yes, sir.
classes. Today I see some of the students are not present, so please ask them to be attended because they might not know that I am restarting the classes. Okay, so please communicate. Who is the class representative? Please show your face. CR.
Sir, it's
Okay,
me.
David. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's me.
Okay,
I'm the
David.
class
Nice.
representative.
David. Okay. So please communicate to the all the batchmates that I have restarted the Java so that they did not lose the classes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put off the video. So today Nikhil Poddar actually found absent. Neha Sharma, Ankumani Daimari, Tridip Banik actually found not attending. So in the Google Classroom, you will be able to post all your you will be able to post all your issues, anything that you need to clarify so far as this Java programming is concerned. Please, you have enough time, 1 month. So even if you could not understand anything, don't worry. Be frank with me. Okay. Who is this? Shashanka. Shashanka, can I see you? Sami,
Yes, sir.
how are you? Show me. How are you? I cannot hear you. Shashank, I cannot hear you. Okay, so Saidur, can I see you?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Yes, sir, I'm fine, sir.
So, have you understood something in today's class?
Okay.
Okay. So, Prasenjit, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I want to see you. Prasenjit, I want to see you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
You have understood something in today's class? কিবা তো বুজিছা আজিৰ ক্লাছত?
Sir, Asilu.
কিবা বুজিছা নে নাই আজিৰ ক্লাছত?
Sir, বুজিছো.
Okay, মই নোটছখিনিও দি দিম এবাৰ ভালকৈ পঢ়ি ল'বা দেই. I will revise the full course. So please be regular in classes so that আগতে কিবা যদি শিকাও নাই, no problem, we will cover up in 1 month. Okay?
ঠিক আছে, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
good luck. And then who is this? Nilanjan Sarkar. You can put off your video. Sarkar, Nilanjan, Neil Ratan, sorry. Neil Ratan. I want to see you. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Okay. The video is not appearing. Did you put on? Video.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you understood something today's class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Be member of the Google Classroom. What that I will pass. Then I will pass the notes. Okay, in PDF format. So that will help you. Okay. Don't
Okay,
worry.
sir.
We will make up everything. Okay. We'll cover up. Okay then. That's all for today. And thank you all for attending. I will see you all in tomorrow's lab class. Okay. Good luck.